Yo, what is up? How is everyone doing? Today I'm going to talk about something that's quite important to me, and that is stop and search awareness. I want to be able to talk about the stop and search rules. I made this video like 2 other times. This is the third time, so hopefully, third time's a charm. I originally made this back in like 2016 when there's a man named Judah who was falsely accused of doing wrong and was then unfortunately tased. Back then there was flyers going around and also a campaign called Justice for Judah. I did a video then and it didn't really work out. It wasn't how I wanted it to look or how I wanted to portray the message that I was trying to give off. I then tried it again a second time, like a month or two ago, and then some of you will know, some of you may not, but some stuff happened and then I lost the footage as well, and yeah. So anyway, third time's a charm. I want to actually do this video again for the third time because I just seen a quote saying that like 88% of the people that have been arrested during isolation or the lockdown were of BME or ethnic background. Also, during this lockdown, I was one of the people that was falsely stopped and searched during it, so I am part of that statistic. Me and another friend were stopped. Our car was searched, everything was searched, but nothing obviously came of it. Because of those four main reasons, I'm now coming to you guys because when I was getting stopped, even though I did know these things from doing this video before, it left my head. So I'm doing this video to further implant it into my head and then to also impart the knowledge I have onto you guys as well at home who are watching this. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, there was a campaign called Justice for Judah. I'm just going to read off the hints and tips that they gave in the flyer. So it's supporting their cause, supporting another cause, so everyone's doing what we can. So I'm just going to start off by doing that. So first of all, I want to maybe just give another piece of advice that's maybe not listed on the list of the flyer that I found, and that is maybe just to stay calm and collected. I know it's easier said than done, but in the moment, there's going to be a lot of things happening. The more hyped you get, or the more erratic you become, is only going to come back and fall back on you later online. It's best to stay calm and collected and stay vigilant or stay active, really, because it's good to know what is happening in your surroundings. You never know what may happen. The first advice that is given is to ask, am I going to be detained? And what this means is, if you're then stopped by a police officer and he comes along and he says, or they come along and say, we have reason to believe this, and the other, we're going to stop you right now, answer these questions here, blah, blah, blah. If you say, am I going to be detained? And they say, no, you're not going to be detained, there's no reason for you to still be there, which means that you are able to leave and go about your business. An officer should only really stop you anyway if they have reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion is basically to say that they have reason to believe that you have committed a crime or are going to or intend to commit a crime. So that could just be from there's a stolen or missing cat, there's a missing cat in the area, and reports have come and said that someone that looks just like you was seen putting a cat into the bag and running off. One thing that they cannot use as reasonable suspicion, however, though, is race, gender, age, or ableness, etc, etc. So if you were a white male walking past a mosque, or a black male in Clifton, which is in Bristol, or anything like that, and then you get stopped and they say, hey, you're this and this because you're there or there, that's not reasonable suspicion to stop you. However, I feel like the police won't really say that. They'd come up with another reason. The next piece of advice that is given is that you do not need to give your name or address whilst being stopped and searched. So this means that which is what has actually happened to us. We were stopped and searched and we were asked our name. We didn't give it, and that's when things escalated, unfortunately. So that's when things may become difficult in my experience. But you do not have to give your name and address. This is because if you are found guilty Unfortunately, if that does happen, they will get your name and address down the line when you go to the station, etc., etc. So this means that if you are innocent, there's no reason to give your name and address, because once you're found innocent, you should just be able to go along like a normal person anyway. You just have to say, it is not within the law for me to give you my name or address. I will help you with your investigation as much as I can, but as far as that, I do not feel comfortable giving you my information, my personal information. The third piece of advice is that police cannot put you in handcuffs. This is a big one. This didn't happen to me, but it has happened to a friend. He was going to the cash machine, went to one cash machine. On the way there, past the police officer. That cash machine charges, so he went in the opposite direction to then go to another cash machine which doesn't charge. On the way there, the police officer stopped him and said, "You've been up and down this road too many times. This is suspicious, so I'm going to stop you." Obviously, he got searched, and because he was the only officer in the surrounding area, he then went on to say that I am going to handcuff you because I'm the only officer, and I don't feel comfortable searching you without doing that. Obviously, my friend obliged and did that, but it was not within the law for that officer to do that, and that officer knew that that was illegal, so that officer broke the law then. So if that happens, just make sure that you're saying that you are breaking the law right now. I'm not supposed to be getting handcuffed during this stop and search. It is against the law. You're breaking the law, officer. Yeah, make sure you get the details, and if you don't get the details, this is where it comes in handy. You need to get a stop and search receipt. This receipt acts as proof of what has happened to you. If you are found guilty, unfortunately you will be found guilty, but you need to get that receipt as well. If you're found innocent, you need to keep that on you forever. This just means that when you leave your house again, and it may happen again and again and again, within a specific time period, you're going to have loads of stop and search receipts, and it's going to show that you're innocent, which then means that you are not being stopped under reasonable suspicion. It means that there's some sort of agenda that may be against you. And once you get those, imagine how many times you may be stopped and how much time that takes out of your life. I'm pretty sure there would be ways for you to get your time back. Yeah, make sure you get those stop and search receipts, because they will come in handy, especially if you are found innocent and you do not like the way that you were treated or there was misconduct during the stop and search. The next piece of advice is that you are allowed to record on your smartphones. This is vital because sometimes police officers do not actually turn on their camera. They may say it is on, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of time it is not on. So a good thing for you to do is to record anything and everything that happens once the moment you have been stopped. If you record the moment you've been stopped and you're shown saying, "Am I able to leave?" and then they say no, or "Am I being detained?" and they say no, and then they still go on to ask you your name and address, and then they still go on to try and handcuff you, and all of these things that they're doing wrong, and you've recorded it, and then you've got the search receipt, and the recording and the search receipt back each other up, then there's evidence that there has been some wrongdoings and some prejudice that's been aimed towards you. A lot of people in power abuse their power, but it is just evidence that you could bring towards someone that may be able to help you in the near future if that does happen. Then another thing that you need to be doing once you have, which is the last piece of advice, is that you need to then share those experiences online for others to understand or see what is happening around the world. Sometimes we are all trapped in our own bubbles. I live in Eastern. Sometimes I just don't really leave the area because this is where I live. But my experiences in Eastern compared to someone in Fish Ponds, compared to someone in Clifton, compared to someone in London, compared to someone in Devon, everyone's is different. So I will wake up and live a lifestyle or live a life that is completely different to someone else's, and I will never ever stop and think about how this person in Keynsham lives their life and how it affects them. And this is why you need to be sharing a lot of things that are happening. So if you share your experience, if that's the video that you've recorded, or you write a poem, or you create a vlog, or you write a blog, or you write a diary entry and you upload it, or literally right now what I'm doing now, stop and search awareness, is only going to help the human race advance or help the human race better themselves along the line. One thing I would like to add is that, in my opinion, I do not think anyone should ever be stopped and searched, because I feel like it is an invasion of privacy. But if it does happen, I do hope that this advice I've given you does come in handy in some way or shape or form. I feel like the ones that are most important is just to stay calm and collected. Don't say anything you'll regret. Don't do anything you will regret. Treat others as you want to be treated. Do sometimes remember that they are just doing their jobs. Police officers are just doing their jobs, but in certain situations, 88% of people stopped and searched over in the UK during a 3-month period were BME or ethnic background. There's some sort of prejudice or some sort of agenda that has been put onto us, because I could be walking on the road just going to get some groceries for my nan, and this brother Dave is next to me, who looks completely different, and he's gone down the road to go to the shop and pocket the same groceries that I was going to buy. I'm walking out the shop and I get stopped, but this guy hasn't been stopped. Why? Why is this happening? Why are a lot of these things happening? I have some thoughts and I may share them in the future, but hopefully this video will get some people to think about why these things do happen. Yeah, hopefully you guys found these things intriguing, interesting, inspirational, insightful. Check out Justice for Judah. There is a second march happening today as well, which is why I did that. So shout out to the people running this march. There's a march happening in Eastville Park. It's the 12th of July today. I couldn't make it because I had prior obligations, and that's why I'm making this video right now. Shout out to IC3, is a black owned business. IC3 is a code word used with the police to identify a black male. So me, I am an IC3, wearing IC3. I think that's pretty wavy. In the Know is coming out soon, so check that out. That's me. I'm starring and I'm going to be doing a bit of presenting. Go on to the booth on Max for that. And guys, just make sure you stay positive, pass positivity across the world. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, at least watch it. At least try and remember these things, and let's try and push this crazy hectic world we're in into the right direction, because right now there are a lot of things, a lot of injustices happening that can easily be changed, but for some reason they are not. Follow me on my my socials, Instagram, KP for Prime Minister. My Twitter will be below, my Snapchat will be below. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day.